During this training, we're going to be taking a look at the Pasadena ISD Stoneware portal. First, let's describe the portal. The Pasadena ISD Stoneware portal is a web-based resource which provides centralized single sign-on access to many of Pasadena ISD's resources. Users are able to access the portal from their work or home location or anywhere else on the internet. The address for the portal is http:// and then portal.pasadenaisd.org. So let's enter that address in the web browser. This is the login page for the Pasadena ISD Stoneware portal. From here, you will enter your district-issued username and password, and then click on the Login button. This is the home screen for the portal. On the home screen for the Pasadena ISD portal, you'll find these items. First, you may see a link to something called My Files. That will be enabled at a later time, and it will provide you access to some of your network files, specifically the items which are located on a user's H network drive. The next item that you'll find on this screen will be the Recent Links tiles. These are links to applications which you have used most recently in the Stoneware portal. Next on the screen will be an area where you can add a list of favorite tiles for you to access. We'll talk about how to add those items shortly. And then down at the bottom of the screen, you can access features such as the currently running programs. You can lock the screen, you can search for items, customize portal settings, and log out. We'll take a look at each of those items shortly. But let's go back to the top of the screen now and talk about the account settings. Under the Account screen, you have the ability to use something called the Lockbox Password Manager. As mentioned, one of the primary functions of the Pasadena ISD portal is to provide a single sign-on interface in which the user logs into the portal and then does not need to enter login information for each available resource. The system accomplishes this task by forwarding the user's Pasadena ISD username and password automatically to the requested resource. However, there may be some resources, such as Project Share, which are not linked to the standardized Pasadena ISD username and password. In those cases, the Lockbox Password Manager provides the user with the ability to add or update login information for a specific resource. Stoneware will then automatically forward the stored login information to the resource as needed. So let's take a look at the Lockbox Password Manager. When you click on the manager, it launches a feature which allows you to manually assign what username and password is passed along to that particular resource. So for example, Project Share, I could enter my updated username and password and then click on Update Stored Password so that the next time I access Project Share, it will automatically forward that information to the system. Along the top of the screen, you also have the Applications page. So I'll go ahead and click on that link. And this will show me all of the available tiles which link to specific resources in the Pasadena ISD system. So for example, if I click on the Eduphoria tile, it will launch Eduphoria and automatically log me into that program. It is a good practice to log out of a resource before you go back to the Stoneware portal, so I'll go ahead and do that. And now I can close this window, which takes me back to the Stoneware portal. The desktop page provides access to programs which can be pushed from the network to a user's computer. Currently, the desktop page and its accompanying teacher application are only available whenever you log into the Stoneware portal from a work computer, that would be a laptop or a desktop, running Windows, while you are at work. When implemented, the Teacher app will provide access to Stoneware's Virtual Application Launcher. This is a function which allows the system administrators to push a program to your local computer. Currently, there are plans to use this function to push the Land School program to teachers' computers. Land School will provide teachers with the ability to monitor student computers, broadcast to student computers, and initiate feedback sessions with students. This feature will only be available after the school year begins and students have logged in to their Stoneware portal. Now let's talk about the items which are found along the bottom of the screen. The first item is the Open Applications button. This button provides a list of running applications. You can click on the X to close an application. Along the bottom of the screen is also the Lock button. The Lock button locks your screen whenever you are going to be away from your computer for a few minutes. This screen will display, followed by a prompt to enter your password to continue your session. Along the bottom of the screen is also the Search button. This feature allows you to quickly access one of your resources. Also found along the bottom of the screen is the Settings button. The Settings button allows users to customize specific aspects of the portal. For example, the Wallpaper setting allows you to define a background color or a default background picture. I'll go ahead and change that back. The next item you can customize is the default menu. This will specify which of the screens will appear by default whenever you log in. Currently, the home screen is the default setting. You could set it to show the account, applications, or desktop screens by default whenever you log in. The Favorites setting allows you to define which items will appear among the favorites on the home screen. So for example, let's say I wanted to have the Outlook webmail, the PISD homepage, and Eduphoria listed among my favorites. I'll click the home screen link, and now those items are listed among my favorites. The last item on the settings page is the Push Agent setting. The Push Agent setting is not a customizable setting, and currently users will not need to make any changes to this setting. The final item, which is found along the bottom of the screen, will be the Log Out function. It is always a good idea to log out of the portal before closing out of the browser. So I'm going to click on Log Out, and now I can go ahead and click on the X to close out of the browser. Before we finish this training, let's take a look at a couple of frequently asked questions. First, you may wonder, which browsers can I use? Well, users can use any modern browser. For example, Internet Explorer 6 is not considered a modern browser. However, other browsers such as Chrome, later versions of Internet Explorer, Firefox, or other browsers would be able to allow access to the Stoneware portal. Please note that on the login page for the portal, there is a system check feature which allows you to check to see if your system is fully compatible. Users may also wonder if they can access their portal from one of their mobile devices, such as an iPhone, an iPad, an iTouch, a BlackBerry device, or an Android device. Please note that you can access Stoneware from these items. However, your experience may vary. For example, accessing a resource on a 4-inch screen may be less desirable than accessing a resource on a larger laptop or desktop screen. Please also know that some of our resources require Adobe Flash, and that Adobe Flash does not run on most mobile devices. In those cases, you would not be able to access those resources. Another question that people might have is whether or not they can add additional applications to their Stoneware portal. Unfortunately, custom application tiles can't be added by individual users. The network department is responsible for adding and defining those tiles, and if you have suggestions regarding those specific applications to be added, you would need to turn in a work order to Mark Miller in the networking department. Here's another question that people might have. Will everybody get the same list of resources? Well, resources are assigned by your account grouping. As a result, if you're an elementary teacher, you might get a different list of resources than a secondary teacher. However, there will be some common resources that are available to all users. If you have additional questions regarding the Stoneware portal, you can contact the Instructional Technology department using the information that you see on the screen. Thank you.